Every generation thinks it's smarter than the one before it, until it loses everything for the same reasons. This is the truth of financial history that no one likes to say out loud. We're not really making new mistakes. We're just repackaging the old ones in a more polished way. Every bubble starts with the same sentence. This time it's different. But it isn't. It never was. The real difference is the story people tell themselves before it bursts. Take the tulip mania of the 1600s. Tulips weren't just flowers. They were status, prestige, a way of saying, I've made it. Think of them like today's NFTs. In 1637, a single tulip bulb sold for 10 years of a craftsman's wages. Contracts were traded for tulips that didn't even exist yet. Then the music stopped, and then it happened. Merchants, nobles, farmers, all of them went bankrupt over something they could have grown in their own backyard. Then, in 1720, the South Sea Company took the stage, the official sponsor of greed. Even the British government backed this company. Unlimited wealth from South America, they said. But there was one small problem. The company wasn't actually trading anything. Still, everyone invested. Politicians, aristocrats, even Isaac Newton. Yes, the man who discovered gravity. The man who calculated the motion of the planets. But he couldn't calculate human psychology. He lost most of his fortune and said this: I can calculate the movement of the stars, but not the madness of men. And that madness wasn't limited to England. The same year, the Mississippi bubble burst in France. A man stood up and said, there's gold in America. They printed paper money. Everyone thought they would get rich. But there was no gold, only a story. When the story collapsed, the money collapsed with it. France lost trust in paper money for years. Two countries, same year, same script. Because once speculation starts, borders stop mattering. Now we move to the 1920s. Radio had just arrived. It was the internet of its time. Stocks were soaring. Banks lent money. People bought stocks with that money. As stocks rose, even more credit was created. A self-fueled frenzy, but they called it economic growth. In 1929, the bubble burst. Half of America's production disappeared within a few years. That's the end result of debt-fueled euphoria. Bubbles aren't about numbers. They're about what people believe in. Every bubble starts with something that actually works. A new technology, a new idea. The problem isn't the idea. The problem is the story built on top of it. In the 1990s, the internet arrived, and everyone lost their mind. Anything with .com in its name gained value. The company isn't profitable, but that doesn't matter, they said. What matters is clicks. The result? NASDAQ soared. Then it fell by 80%. Here's the irony. The internet really did change the world, just not at those prices. Then came the housing bubble. Everyone should own a home. Home prices never fall. Do you know what was underneath it all? Debt on top of debt. Paper on top of paper. In 2008, everything collapsed. Banks were rescued. People were not. Profits were private. Losses were public. And here's the crucial part. Bubbles aren't just markets spinning out of control. They're about those in power refusing to pay the price. Then crypto arrived. At first, it was a rebellion. Decentralized, free, fair. But once the money came in, the game changed. The same story told with new words. Then NFTs exploded. A JPEG sold for millions. People weren't buying art. They were buying a dream. Every bubble has its own language. This one spoke in memes and diamond hands. And then, the rug was pulled. Projects vanished. Those left behind stayed behind. But here's the real issue. After every crash, the system grows even bigger. Today, the bubble isn't in one thing. It's everywhere. Cheap money inflated everything. Stocks, homes, art. Everyone felt rich. But that wealth was made of paper. And now we're left with this question. Can you spot the next bubble? There are 3 signs. Prices rising faster than understanding. Experts telling you just don't get it. People around you getting rich doing nothing. At that point, you're no longer investing. You're auditioning for the next collapse. Bubbles don't burst because of math. They burst when belief runs out. And the biggest bubble of all is this idea. Someone will warn me. They won't. They never did. History doesn't repeat itself exactly, but it rhymes. And if you can hear the rhyme, you already know the next line.